Most of us, when we want to do something new, we keep adding things. Well, I'm going to start this new business, and then I'm going to start this new workout plan, and then I'm going to start volunteering, and then I'm going to do this, and we just added all of these things. We have no more capacity. And so just like I shared in my story, I had to let go of the thing that kept me comfortable, but I know that was the thing that was keeping me good, and I wanted to go to great because I wanted to amplify. And I was so excited. I wrote my little note card last night and I had it all ready. And then this morning I got the most beautiful message and the most beautiful intention. So we're just getting rid of that note card and we're going with what I got. I want to share it with you right now. And that's this idea that each one of us sitting in this room, each one of you have achieved a level of success in your life, your business, your family, your relationships. And it's meant to be celebrated. So celebrating where we're at right now, because often what happens is that we allow what we once prayed for, the thing that we have now, to overwhelm us and stress us out. But what if we got back to, oh my gosh, look at all the things that I've accomplished in my life right now today, where I'm at. Sit in that for a moment. Think about some of the things that you've done, the experiences that you've had, the connections that you've had, what you've accomplished in your career, your business, and with your family. It's quite considerable, and we should be celebrating that, and we forget to celebrate that sometimes. So I want to celebrate that with you, but here's the next part, and the fun part about this, and the message that I got, is now I'm here today, so you can all feel activated to get to the next part of what's next for you that's really, really exciting, and it starts with amplifying our connections. And that's what we're here to talk about today. Are you okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll probably need a little bit more energy than that. So let's just go with, we're like, yes. Okay. So it's gonna, let's do this. So when I say amplify, you say connection. We're gonna try it, okay? Are you ready? Yes, we're ready. Okay. Amplify.
Connection.
That was freaking awesome. We are so ready to go now. Okay. Before I introduce myself a little bit more, and many of you know me, we have a surprise for you today. So I have 5 helpers that are going to be helping us today. So if I could please have Corey, Crystal, Megan, Christina, and Lori stand up. These are all people that are close to my heart, and they're all coaches of some sort. Life coaches, healing coaches, NLP coaches, nervous system coaches, financial coaches, and they're going to be here today helping us guide us through this experience. Because this is just not an experience where you get excited and you get inspired and you write things down on your note paper that I printed very, very beautifully for you. And then when you get back to your office, you just put it in your desk and then you kind of forget about it. This experience is meant to activate you so you can get to the next level, whatever that is, a new career, a new promotion, maybe retirement, maybe better health, more meaningful relationships, deeper connections. And so what we're going to be doing is they're going to spread out a little bit more around the room. And when we do a table activity, they'll help guide us through that. So thank you so much for being here. And I just want to say thank you. My mom came today too. She drove all the way from Portland. If you could stand up, Mom. Thank you. She is my endless support. You can see that we look a lot alike. Okay, so real quick, this is me. Guess what? I grew up in Albany, and I worked in corporate for 16 years. We raised our family here. I put myself through college on night and weekends, and our kids got older. You know, kids get older, life changes, and so my husband and I, Joel, we decided to sell our house and all of our stuff, and we decided to move. So we thought we were moving in search of sun, but really what we found was a deeper connection to ourselves, to God, each other, and our opportunity to serve and show up and help other people. And so that's why I'm here today, because I want to show up and shine so something within you can be amplified, something new within you can be activated, so you can shift your perception just a little bit. So this is where we're at now today after raising our family. We now live in sunny Miami Beach. This is a picture of us in Tulum, as Janet mentioned. Tongue twister for me. And we just love living in Miami. I call it our bliss bubble. So as I shared, I wrote this intention previously, but the intention is really to activate something within you so that you can amplify something in your life, your business, or career that you deeply desire. But I like that bold part, though. We're going to give you actionable steps. It's not just going to be a bunch of fluff, because what happens with fluff? Fluff just kind of goes nowhere. Okay, so let's start by, why did you say yes to joining this session today? And we are going to share in our group. Now, I'm going to give you about 20 seconds for everybody to share. So it would sound like this. My intention for joining today was to take a break from the office. My intention to join today was to connect deeper with someone that I don't know. My intention for joining today was to have a really delicious meal because they always serve the best food. You know, whatever your intention is, it could really be anything, or it could be something deeper than that. Who knows? And so what I'll have you do is go ahead and share in your groups, give about 20 seconds per person. What is your intention for being here? Because if we can be intentional on each and everything that we do and be totally present, that's how we experience more in our lives. It's when we just show up without intention. You know those days when you wake up and you're like, how do I feel today? Nah. You're like, well, what is that? It's like, well, that's how I felt yesterday, where nothing's wrong, but nothing's really right. You don't really even know how you got to the place that you're at right now. Yeah, so we want to be intentional so that we can feel how we want to feel, so we can experience what we want to experience. I want you to get out of this day right now what you want to get out of it. And not everything you're going to click with, but there's going to be something that you can take away from today. Okay, so our coaches will be around. They might walk around, help out a little bit, and yeah, just go around your table and share about 20 seconds each on what's your intention for being here. So my intention for being here is, okay, let's go ahead and come back together. Thank you so much. Everybody's smiling and laughing and sharing. Let's share a couple intentions. How about in the back? Yell out an intention. Meet new people. How about over here?
Just have fun.
Have fun and relax. And then all the way in the back? Yeah, being with the ladies. What about up here in the front?
To see you again.
Oh, thank you. I received that. In the middle? Self-care. Yeah, I love that. Anyone else really wanting to share?
Connection, community.
Connection and community. I love that. So here I've listed our 4 disciplines that we're going to talk about today. And the word discipline, I think, gets a bad rap. Discipline is actually something that gives you more freedom in your life. But our subconscious, our ego self, obviously, it kind of says that discipline is hard. It's so much structure that you have to be rigid. And while you do have to have a plan and structure, a discipline brings freedom, because when you're planful and intentional and have disciplines in your life and you're focused and are clear on where you want to go, then you'll get there a little bit faster. It's like you have a beeline, you have a GPS to where you're going. But when you don't have disciplines, you don't have a plan, and you don't have structure, it's like you're not really sure where you're going. So I'm going to start by talking about the discipline of stopping. And I want to share a story with you. And if you've ever heard me talk before, this is a story I shared in one of my other keynotes called The Power of the Ask. But as I was planning for this talk today, I decided to share this story because it now has a different ending. And the reason why it has a different ending on this story now is because I've activated something else within me recently. And I started amplifying something new. And so this story has a different end. And so the story that I want to share with you is, I shared with you that I lived in Albany and we raised our family here, and then we moved to Colorado Springs. Joel and I, we didn't know anyone in Colorado Springs. I worked from home, still with my coaching business that I have right now, the Amplify Life Company, and he's a massage therapist. He would leave every day, and I actually saw Lori at the Broadmoor there in Colorado Springs. It's this fancy resort that he worked at. He got to have connection with people there. And so I thought, oh, I need connection. So I joined a high-level mastermind. And within this mastermind group, we would meet via Zoom. And we would also meet a couple times a year in person. This one day, I was sitting, and I loved our place. By the way, talk about letting go of control. Who loves keeping control on everything? Raise your hand, control freaks. Yeah. I'm a recovering control freak. Yes, very, very proud of that. So what I told Joel when we wanted our new place, I said it needs to be open, it needs to be new, modern, bright, and light. There needs to be an outside space. And he did that. So I moved to this place sight unseen. And on this particular day that I'm going to share with you today, he was sitting on the couch, which is over here, and then the kitchen's open over here. There's one bedroom back here, and I'm straight ahead. So he's on the couch here, and I'm straight ahead, like where this table is. I have a little office nook. And I'm in my office nook like this, and I'm looking over at Joel, and he's on the couch. And I'm doing the finances, and I just keep looking at him. Then I start thinking, why is he not helping me with this? He never helps me with this. Anybody ever think about that? Why am I the only one doing this stuff? So I don't say anything, and I'm continuing. And I thought, you know what? Now is my time. I'm going to use my voice. I'm going to speak up. I'm going to share with him that, he really needs to help me with this. So I walk out there, and this is what I say to him. Why don't you ever help me with this? Okay, first of all, probably not the right way to say it. But anyway, we're going with it. Why don't you ever help me with this? And he's sitting on the couch, chilling. What are you talking about? The finances. I don't understand why it's always on my shoulders. It feels like it's so much pressure. Why are you not helping me with this? So then he said two things that really shifted things for me. But the first one was, well, you've never asked me to. So in that moment, I stopped and I thought, you know what? I haven't ever asked him to. And then the next thing that he said, it was really great actually. Well, what do you need help with? What do you think I said? I don't know. So here I am, so determined to share with him, and so much resentment on the inside that I had to say, why don't you help me with this? It was his fault. I knew it was his fault. He was just sitting on the couch. He's making me deal with this stuff. Resentment is building. But guess what I realized in that moment? That's actually me. I'm the one. If I'm not asking for help, first of all, he's not a mind reader. No one's mind readers. And then I'm not even clear on what I want him to help me with. Well, that's another me problem. So is it really his problem? And you see, that's where the story used to end. And I'm going to stop there for a moment. And I want you to think about one thing that you really want in your life. Because as I share this story with you, I want you to find yourself in the story that I'm sharing. And I want you to start working through these 4 disciplines. The first one of stopping, just like I stopped, and I had to think about, maybe that's something I need to clean up my side of the street on. Maybe that's something that I need to take personal responsibility for and stop blaming him for it. So what is something that you really desire in your life? And many of you are writing it down. You already know you're going for it. I love this. It could be in your life, your business, your health, your relationships, maybe somewhere you want to travel to, something that you want to do this summer that you heard someone else say that you're like, geez, I didn't have any real plans, but now I'm going to make some. That was a great question, by the way. So what is something that you really desire in your life? And then if you wrote down multiple things, that's great. I believe that we can do anything that we want to do, just not everything at the same time. And so what is that one thing that you're thinking of or that you wrote on your paper that you really desire? Because I want to work with that a little bit today. And so you have something very specific that you can take away today. And so I'm going to give everybody about 20 seconds, 30 seconds to share, and it's going to sound something like this. I desire to be an inspirational keynote speaker. Maybe that's not your thing. I desire to run a mile 3 times a week. Maybe it's something like that. Okay, everybody have their one thing and ready to share? Let's start. Okay, let's come back together. I love the emotion that Steve shared with this. These are definitely deeper desires. Who wants to be brave and share their desire with us as a group? Oh, please. You want to find some peace and quiet. I hear that, yeah. I feel for you. Very challenging time. One of the things sometimes we forget about is that people want to help people. I know for you, like you said, letting go of the reins, but maybe allowing a little bit more help, asking for more help, delegating a little bit more. It's hard though, right? It's part of us. It's part of us. We talked about that. I'm a recovering control freak. Yeah, so that can help a little bit. So let me give you a nugget, and then I'm going to ask you a question. So the nugget, one of our beliefs of our company, the Amplified Life company, is you can only reach your dreams and goals to the level your body can take it. So if you want that executive director position, start taking care of yourself. The ripple, the wave will happen. I have chills right now for you. That's yours. But universe, God, the world, whatever, is just waiting for you to do it for you so that you can do it for others. It's in you. It's there for you. Yeah, I feel that for you. Yeah, I love that so much. And I'm not going to ask you a question, but the question was going to be what's keeping you from it. And maybe that's just...
Oh, comfort is comfort for both of them.
Mm-hmm. So
what if?
Yeah. Yeah, so many what ifs. We all get stuck in what ifs. Thank you for the courage to share that. There was someone in the back that wanted to share. Please. I love that. And I see that you're already taking action. I wasn't going to say what's keeping you from that because you're taking action. So I just highly encourage you to keep taking action. And it's a series of small, everybody thinks it's like these big, huge moments that bring us success or bring us what we desire. It's never the big, huge moments because society has trained us that if it's not fast, fun, or easy, that it's not for us. And then we give up. And we start saying that, oh, it's not for me because of this, or it's not for me because of that. But it's this series of small steps, disciplines, if I might, repeated daily over and over that brings success, joy, fulfillment, freedom, all of the things that we want in our life. But that's not what society says. So we need to forget what they say and come back to what we know on the inside. So thank you so much for saying that. How many people would venture to say that they have at least one challenge in their life right now? Raise your hand. Okay, so that's everybody. So I want you to look at this next slide. And have you ever told yourself any of these? If my job wasn't so stressful, I could. Only if my partner was more supportive, I could. I could do more, but I'm just not good at technology. Our team missed the deadline, but those dang clients, they just keep, missing the requirements. I could have achieved more if better opportunities were coming towards me. Any of these you've ever said to yourself? Yeah. And the hard truth, going back to that story, remember how I was like, why are you not helping me? And then I had to realize the hardest truth is the first thing that I needed to do was to stop looking at Joel on the couch and blaming him and start looking at myself. It's me. It's us. It's all of us. But it's easier. So in our subconscious, we built this identity for ourselves of who we are and how we show up and then how others show up around us. And so it's so much easier, it's so much more comfortable to not take personal responsibility. So here's a little tip that I'll leave with you. And what I started doing was, if there's a challenge or problem, the first thing I look at is me. Often the first thing we look at is outside of ourselves. Because it's easier, because it's more comfortable, because we don't have to be disciplined, because we don't have to do it. We don't want to be the one. We want to sit in our control because we know what we're doing. Because remember, we already talked about it. All of us have achieved a level of success that we should be celebrating. But another belief of our company is this: your current level of success is what's keeping you from your next level of success. So what does that mean? That means that we have to look at ourselves and challenge ourselves to do new things in the way we want to go. It doesn't have to be the way that I do it or the way the person next to you does it, but it's the way that you deeply desire and what you want in your own life. Because we're all going to amplify. Oh, let's try it again. I caught you at that, right? Because we're all going to amplify. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I'm going to let you just answer this on your own, and I want to continue with my story. But what are those thoughts that are on replay in your head? As humans, our thoughts are the same day after day after day after day. Did you know that? Like over 85% of our thoughts are the same. The real kicker here is over 75% of them are quote-unquote negative thoughts. So if every day we're waking up with 75% negative thoughts, bye ladies, have a beautiful, blessed day. Thank you for being here. So right there, okay, so let's use this as an example. This is so wonderful. So I could have thought, as a speaker, oh my gosh, people are leaving early and I'm not done. I bet that means something. Totally could do that. But I've trained myself to not take what's happening around me and make it mean something about me. This is what we're doing all day long. We're taking our environmental stimuli and then we're going, oh, that happened. That person, their body language was this. I didn't get this promotion. This happened to me. It means this about me. And then we further go into that identity that we've built for ourselves. And we further sit in our comfort. So what are the thoughts that are on replay in your head? So at that time, that in my story, when I told Joel off on the couch and then I realized, oh shit, it's me. The thought that was on replay in my head is I need to do more. If I just do more and I'm busier and I achieve more, then I'll be able to. Then I'll be happy, then I'll be fulfilled, this will happen. If I just do more, that was often on replay in my head. So what thoughts are on replay in your head right now? And are they thoughts that are going to get you to what you most desire? Or are they thoughts that are keeping you stuck? So I just want to take like 30 seconds, just think for yourself. And selfishly, that'll give me time to get a little drink of water. Okay. Who wants to share a thought that's on replay? Because you know what? If it's in your head, it's in probably almost all of our heads. What ifs? What does one of your what ifs sound like right now? Specifically. Overthinking. Can anybody relate with overthinking? Look around. That was everybody, pretty much. My legs would both be up too sometimes. Yeah. What else? What thoughts are on in replay? Not good enough? Mm-hmm. That one used to be mine too. Not good enough. Okay, so if only I do this, then I'll be good enough. Who can resonate with that one? I've felt that before. You know what the other thing that I've felt before too is like, oh, I better not really speak up, even though I'm an expert in this area. I don't want people to think like I think I'm better than them. When it's really like, no, I'm here to help people. That's what I'm meant to be doing. I should be doing that. Remember, I talked about my story had a different ending. It wasn't just about, oh shit, it's me. There's more to it. Anybody else want to share? I want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity. Please. I'm not doing a good enough job. Yeah. I always think when I hear that to myself too, is like, what standard am I using right now? Is this my standard? Or is this a standard that I'm borrowing from someone and I just do not want it anymore? And so that's the first discipline of stopping. It was really big. It was long. It took almost our whole time because guess what? We don't do that. We don't stop long enough to think and discern and plan and let things go, ask for help. We don't stop. We're constantly going. So the second discipline is to simplify. So going back to my story, I realized after I thought, well, oh shit, it's me. I'm the problem. I should really play that Taylor Swift song, I think, here too. So one day, maybe I'll add that. I just made this for you guys though, so I didn't have a chance. But so I realized that I was trying to do it all. We just moved from Oregon, where again, I love it here, from Albany specifically, where I lived my whole entire life in this amazing community, to Colorado, where I didn't know anybody. I joined the mastermind. I was doing my business, so at that time I was still doing holistic nutrition consulting. I had a number of clients, and I was doing life coaching. I was doing a little speaking too. But you know what my desire was? I wanted to be a holistic life coach and a keynote speaker. That was my desire. But you know what I was doing most of my time? Nutrition. And I loved it, and I still love nutrition. But why was I so focused on the nutrition when my desire was life coaching and speaking? Any guesses? Comfortable. Yeah. So in that moment, I realized I had to make a decision. Remember how I said the number one thing that's keeping you from your next level, from keeping you from amplifying connection with yourself, with others, with the growth that you want? The number one thing is your current level, where you're at right now. I was so good at nutrition, and it was easy. But it wasn't going to get me to my next level. So you know what I did? The scariest thing that I did was said, okay, I'm just not going to do that anymore. There goes this big chunk of income, because I know I wanted to make space and simplify for life coaching and speaking. So much more than the complicated process of helping people with nutrition. So I simplified. So let's simplify where you're at. So if you want to take a picture of this, you can, and take it home with you. But I think it would be really fun if we all looked at it and then just went around the table and answered one of the questions. So mine would sound something like this. If I didn't feel like it was silly, I would just completely quit my nutrition business and start something new. If it wasn't selfish, I would tell my husband that I'm cutting out like over half of our income by quitting my nutrition business. If it was easy, I would start telling everybody that I'm an amazing keynote speaker and I want to do that for my job now. If I wasn't worried about other people's opinions, I'd tell them, hey, I'm a holistic life coach and I can help you. You want to join me? If I'm honest with myself, I would probably ask for help with all that. So this is a way to simplify. So here's what I want you to do. Take your desire and fill out, let's call this like a Mad Lib. Do you remember Mad Lib? Anybody with me on Mad Libs? Yeah, here is your desire Mad Lib to simplify. So go ahead and do it for yourself, and then we'll just take a few minutes and share one of the things that stood out to you. One of the Mad Lib questions that stood out to you the most. Anybody have questions? I want to make sure we're all on the same track. And if you're like, this just seems too simple, yeah, that's the point. Because remember, we complicate everything and overthink everything. But what if it is just this simple? Because aren't these some of the things that hold us back? I'm not good enough because I wonder what other people are going to think. And then I'm placing labels on it. It's silly. Da-da-da-da. But is it really? This one is so fun. You can do this with anything to simplify anything. If you want to think of a new business idea or do something fun at home with your family, just think about doing this Mad Lib style, right? And see what comes up. So now we've gone through the first two disciplines of stopping and then simplifying. And the reason why we simplify is because if you don't create the space, most of us, when we want to do something new, we keep adding things. Well, I'm going to start this new business. And then I'm going to start this new workout plan. And then I'm going to start volunteering. And then I'm going to do this. And we just added all of these things. We have no more capacity. And so just like I shared in my story, I had to let go of the thing that kept me comfortable, but I know that was the thing that was keeping me good, and I wanted to go to great because I wanted to amplify. I wanted to amplify connection. And so the next thing is focusing in. So you have your desire. You've stopped and really thought about, where can I take personal responsibility for not fully going for this desire, for making excuses, right? It's not even about being resilient. Resilient is enduring. Who wants to endure life? Not me. There's a term called anti-fragility, which basically means that you can face life challenges and you can take action irregardless of your external circumstances. It's more than resilient. And so to get there, though, you have to be able to focus. And so the number one way that you can focus, and I'm going to breeze through this part, but just know, for those of you that don't have to rush back to work, I will stay after if you have questions or want to do pictures or anything like that. Just please let me know. And if you do have to rush off after, you'll have my contact information. Please feel free to reach out to me or any of the coaches that are here today. And we do have one surprise for you too for after, which is super fun. So here's the thing that's holding us back. We've all built this identity for ourselves, and it's based on our character traits. And then what we do is we go through life and we build beliefs based on our experiences, our conditioning, society, and then we build skills around that. And so that's where we're all at today. We have a certain skill set and a certain identity, and that's who we are and that's how we operate. But guess what? You have an opportunity to change it. This is a big list of, you might want to take a picture with your phone and zoom in. You're like, that is like microscopic print, Carmen. What the freak did you do out here? So, but a big list of character traits. So one of the character traits that I wanted to work on building was the character trait of being bold. I wanted to be so bold that people would want to be attracted to me. They want to work with me as a life coach. They want to hire me as a speaker. But guess what? I wasn't speaking up. Speakers that speak get paid to speak, get booked to speak. Life coaches that share tips and tools and strategies and connect with people, they get hired to help other people. I wasn't being bold. And then the character trait, because there's character traits that we've built that served us for a while, but guess what? Some of them don't serve us anymore. So the character trait I wanted to let go of was the character trait of, and I think many of you can relate with this, being busy. How do you know if you have the character trait of being busy? Does anyone ever start with, I know you're busy, but... Yep. So remember that part about like, oh shit, it's me? Yeah. So if you want to get rid of the character trait of busy, just like I did, I had to think about, well, why do I think it's so important for me to be busy all the time? What is the belief that is inherently within me? And then what skill do I need to build in order to break that? So the belief was this: I'm not worthy if I'm not producing or achieving.
That's pretty simply put.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Many of us have that. And it's with us. But guess what? We are worthy. And all of us have something uniquely valuable inside of us that's meant to be shared. But when we hold that, we hold back our own unique, authentic self on the inside. So what I had to start doing, the skill that I needed to start building is, I remember, stop and simplify, and then I'm focusing in on only the things that matter, setting boundaries around where I'm going, communicating on what I'm doing right now, so that I didn't have to be so busy all the time. So I could say yes to the things that really mattered and no to the things that didn't, and start building a life of my own design that I truly love, and a business that I love, not what others expected of me. Because most people say that they're overwhelmed or they're stressed, they have too much on their to-do list, they don't have enough time. And I think that's untrue. If you say that, it's just that you're not clear on what you want and where you're going, and so you're saying yes to everything and everyone so that you can be good enough, so that you can be accepted, so that you can X, Y, and Z, and it's freaking exhausting. And today we're going to amplify. The number one thing we're amplifying the connection to is yourself today. Has anybody got that yet? Yeah. But look at how long has it been since you shared at this level of vulnerability with other people? Probably a while. It's connection with other people too. And that's the last thing here. We're getting close to time, so I'm going to just have you take a picture of this one. But this is your focus moment, and it is the character trait that I want to build or embody. Just like I shared, I want to be bold. The belief I'm ready to replace is that I'm worthy no matter what, right? I don't have to be producing or achieving in order to be worthy. And then one skill I want to develop to get closer to my big desire. So here we are. Stop, simplify, focus, and then amplify. And amplify is the very last piece. There's a breakthrough moment that I'm going to share with you on this screen. And I am going to tell you the number one way to amplify. And this is another belief that we have at the Amplified Life Company. And it's this. Again, we've all have reached a level of our lives and our business and our relationships, and we've achieved success, and we should be celebrating that. But at some point, our skill set ends. And you know what I also used to believe? I need to know it all. Sometimes I would pretend that I would know something. I would go home and figure it out and come back and show up like I knew it. That's exhausting too. You don't need to know it all, because the belief is where your skill set ends, your network begins. But do you have the right network? You don't just want to be in a room of like-minded people. Whoever has heard that, like, is a positive thing. Get in a room with like-minded people. No, you change the word like, we're throwing that out. Get in the room with growth-minded people. Because what happens when you're in a room with people exactly like you? Nothing. You stay exactly the same. You want to be in a room with growth-minded people because you want alternate perspectives. You know, I'm a student of A Course in Miracles, and it defines a miracle as a shift in your perception. If each and every day you could have a shift in your perception, you could dramatically change your life, and that starts with connection to the right people that are growth-minded. So, the breakthrough moment here is old way of thinking. We allow the past and today's present to dictate our future, i.e. that big desire that you want on the paper. Anybody relate to that? Well, this is what happened in the past. These are the challenges today. So therefore, I'm not able to. Nope. Because you're here, we're growth-minded people. We are now going to let the present dictate the past. How do we do that? This really challenging thing happened to me, but guess what? I'm here. I didn't just endure, I took action in the face of it, and I learned this. And now because I learned this, I can show up and I can tell somebody else about it. And their life is going to be impacted too. So I allow the present to dictate the past. Now, I'm not saying that we don't go through challenging things. We go through challenging things, and there's a time to deal with that and a time to feel it. But afterwards, we can allow today's perception to dictate what happened in the past. And then the second part is, the future to dictate the present. So how do you need to show up to be that executive director? How do you need to show up to have the best mental health? How do you need to show up? Who do you need to be? What character traits do you need to have? What rooms do you need to get in with other growth-minded people so you can continue to amplify connection? Yes, 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 yes. So take a picture of that. This is huge. This is the mindset shift that you need. Okay, these are the steps. Stop, simplify, amplify. And we have a gift for you, which, this is going to be really exciting. So here we go. Free of charge to you, all of the coaches that are in this room and me, we're going to do an accountability call. So if you text connect to this phone number, I'll send you the Zoom information. And anybody can join. You can invite others to join if you would like to. But there's no charge. We're not selling you anything. This is just for you as a thank you to the community that raised me and that I grew up in. So all of us will be on the call. If you want to show up and make sure to reach your dreams and goals and be amplified. And the last thing is I have a conference in September. And I thought, what a better way to announce the conference special that we're having than to do it for all of you first, because we're doing a buy one, get one free ticket offer. So if you like stuff like this and you want to hear from other speakers that will really help you grow, it's not just like write notes down, put it in a drawer, forget about it. It's getting results in less than 1 year. You can do that. And the coaches have some information that they'll hand out on that for you too. In the envelope, I also put special notes that you can take home that are inspirational for you. Here's our coaches if you want to take a picture of your coach's information. And as we wrap up here, because we are 2 minutes over time, I just want to say the last word that I want to say, going back to our intention. I hope today that something was activated within you, that you feel amplified to take action in your life. Because our invitation always within our company is this invitation. Is I want each of you to join us in being the one to show the world how truly great life can be. Because it is. Life is amazing. But we want to get out of the meh and those repetitive cycles, get with people that can amplify things for us. Yeah? Who wants to be the one to show the world how great life is? Yeah. Yeah. So let's amplify. Connection. Thank you guys.